Oh, there it is. Hey, and now we have the mic. Oh, look at that. That's slightly embarrassing. Well, welcome back. Good day, good evening, good such and stuff. Wow. So, watching this video without the commentary is probably funny. Excuse my little cold here today. Okay, jeez. Well, welcome back to Pete the Beast, where I just spent half an hour talking to Mike. Well, amazing. So what we have is, if you watched the last episode, you'll know that we learned how to use the digital miner to get specifically diamond, iron, and oh, wait for it, wait. No. Oh yeah. Oh, the gold. So we have tons of gold now. And diamond, and I died. That was kind of funny, actually. So here we go. Yeah, that was actually pretty funny. He tweaked out like a little baby because most of the time there's no mobs. But now, I haven't even used a bed in this game, actually. Thinking about it, I have not used a bed once. Huh. Might be something to think about, but fuck it. Okay, so here we go. We put the gold door in there, blah, 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 osmium, and all that fun stuff. So you're going to continue doing that, but we don't have enough power. So we are... It's not even self-sustaining right now. It's not even making enough power to make its power. So we should maybe think about that as being like the next thing. And maybe some mob defense, because if if Creepy would blow me up right here, I think I might just walk away from this base, to be honest. Actually, nah, I probably wouldn't care too much. That's not that bad. Yeah, so, yeah, CPU and GPU enderage is decent. It's not so bad here. I'm getting like 86 frames, but I'm capping it out at 50, I think. Just to give all power to dedicated usage. This is double core thread on 4 of 8, I believe. So literally 50% is dedicated to Minecraft, 50% is dedicated to the AI. Hello, AI. Yeah, I was shot by a skeleton. Dead. So, we have that. So what I was thinking about today is manifesting a little multiplier. By that, I mean getting some more enrichment going on, so I can multiply my ores closer to a faction or a factory that I enjoy. This place is pretty cool. I do enjoy it. This was my first learning horse, I guess, if you will, of how to use the quarry. The quarry is pretty awesome. Actually, I enjoy it. Look how fast this thing is going. That's just all from using apatite in a tree farm, then cooking it and compressing it into coal blocks. Because you get like 80% more when you compress coal as a fuel source. So, more efficient. Something like 0.8 of a factor. It's significant. It's actually really good. It's almost double. So, yeah. So we got all of the ores, all of the diamonds. I got a metric ton. Metric butt ton, actually, if you want to be technical, of the redstone. So we have everything now. that we need. And as I was saying before, I brutally interrupted myself. We have that to upgrade. So, the question is now, do we upgrade it or do we continue on? It seems like effectively that we should continue on, but not with this base. I think this base is done now since we have unlimited wood and food here, and this quarry. So now we have unlimited, well, not unlimited, we have a limit in the world, which is technically limited only because of reasons, but virtually it's unlimited. I could probably spend the next 1,000 years playing this game and not be able to mine the entirety of it in the world. That's not the issue. The issue is the next piece of the mod. There's so many cool things that I was looking at. Check this stuff out. Wait, what? Oopsies. There we go. So we got our speed upgrades. I got 8 of them. That's pretty awesome. I'm going to be putting those into everything. Actually, I should go set up making more of those. Speed and energy mod. I need gold. Yeah, that's why I was doing the gold. So, like, sand, not a problem anymore. This, pretty much not a problem anymore. That's just redstone and iron. And then this is a little gold to make energy upgrades. That's cool. I like energy upgrades. Since we are getting into an energy problem. See, that's what I'm trying to issue with here. We have 50-50 split, and it's going back and forth as well with the mod pack plus the API AI. It's a choice of, see, I put it so it asks me or disseminates, I guess, a choice to do. So the one choice is to manifest upgrades and put them into everything. So that works, but that takes a heavy load of food and a few other things. So we need more biofuel to get there. Or, and this is the ore part, manifesting so much ore, now I have the ability to enrich it if I want to, and get a bunch of other stuff like solar cells, solar panels, wind turbines, or something like that, or just run off of an eternal ethereal loop, if you will, in the bioprocessing, because that seems to be the best. And I heard the ethanol as a fuel. Yeah, that's so bad. I'm layering through 3 different things trying to get it. So there was the ethanol bucket, but I don't have that. That's not what it is. I tried doing it, and it came up to be this a gaseous fuel, the yellow stuff here. I haven't finished hooking up the oil pipeline because I didn't know if it was going to blow up or if there's going to be any problems over here. So there's the oil pipeline that's going through the desert. I know, haha. Funny. Not funny. Sorry, but not sorry. We need oil. You gotta get the process going. Like, grinding up all the babies to make for pod soil to grow trees is not sustainable. Obviously, the pots cost a lot. I don't have clay. I'm just fucking around here. It is a good idea to be this sustainable. It comes with its own challenges. Hey. Hi. Yeah. Why you bad as the creepers, man? Can you just fuck off? I'm trying to talk about. Put that back. Put it back. Oh. Okay then. Well, yeah. You can have it if you want. I really don't. I actually don't care. I wish I had a pumpkin so I could look you in your face, but that's about as close as I'm gonna get. Okay, cool. You can have your sand. Here, I have another one. It's a whole desert of sand if you want it. Thank you. Cool. So, what really? I had more. I had extra sand. Okay, so there's that. So, I'm trying to figure this out myself. Um, yeah, obviously, when I do an episode, I don't plan for anything. I'm just like, yeah, sweet, feed the beast. The only thing that I wanted to get done last time was trying to figure out the miner and then get it done. That's kind of what happened there. I think that's what happened. It took me quite a while to go through the manifest and figure out um all of the things that go through that. That's pretty cool. I enjoyed that. Hmm. But what now? Are we just gonna go upgrade the beast to get ores faster? Which doesn't really make too much sense now since it's like unlimited at this point. Faster than I can build things. That's why I went to the whole Factorio mode down here. Yeah, come on. Come on. There we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. See, the whole Factorio mode here. I'm getting all of these guys going. These are like factories, I guess, in Factorio, where you build all the shit that you need, right, before you start to advance. This is where we are. What do you need? Yeah, let's put those in there. Cool. So we're gonna get a few more of these guys. Nice. Oh, they only stack to 8, eh? Well, that's awkward. That's fuck. What do you mean? Why aren't you doing your thing? You have 26. Oh, wait, what? Glass. Osmium. There we go. Now it's working. See, sometimes it doesn't work. You gotta like reload things. 26, which is 13. I should be able to get 13 more, but it's only going to make 8, apparently, because that's its stack size. So, we did a few things yesterday, like lagging the fuck out. Maybe you should make a few energy tablets, but it's like, oh, then I go on the energy route. What am I actually doing, though? Like, I don't know this mod pack well enough. I learned how to get here just by messing through all of the things, and that's kind of my deliberation, or this Discord I'm having with an empty fucking room here, to be able to get the things. So now, we got ability to move blocks and items. We don't have the... Oh, that was one thing I wanted to do. But that was just to get gold and a few other things. It was essence of mobs, right? Because that's something you can Pokeball these motherfuckers apparently. No, that's dyslexic. But essence, ESS, ANC. Okay, that's not essence, is it? Essence. So we can have a can of essence. I think it's Mob Trap or something like that. So here we go. Here's the Pokeball. Mob Imprisonment Tool. Cost a few plastic, as in 4, and a gas tier. Well, I think I've seen one gas in the game. Because the playing with the rules that I do of short render distance doesn't really a lot, I guess is actually accurate. Doesn't allow the allocation of some mobs to be spawning at a frequency that's even close to reasonable. I've seen like 2 gas in this game, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm having my render distance. I might change that later on, turn off the AI and render it and just be like, here you go. have fun with it. I've done that a few times. I will again on camera, but that was like super awkward teenage years, and I didn't really want AI to be exposed that way because there's a bunch of tricks of the trade, learning curves and algorithms, especially learning algorithms. I know it's crazy because I sound just retarded as fuck, but creating AIs is something that's really cool. I believe is a part of the next generation. It is already. It's been there since I was probably conceived. Actually, just to see it roll out now, it's like that's cool because I've been in this thought wave pattern, if you will. The vibe. I've been in the vibe since I was born. Some people talk about the vibe like that. It's like, okay, yeah, your outlook on energy and stuff like that is kind of cool, but functionally, it's not really working in the universe because yeah, everything is energy, and if you have they don't even say vibe anymore. They're like, it was just the right energy. It's like, okay, energy is a level of, if you're talking about frequency, then you're talking about the vibrational harmonic level, right? Not just the vibe. If somebody's this is what gets me. I'm gonna go off on a tangent here. So if somebody says that, it's like, okay, you get the vibe. What kind of vibe is it? Uh, you know how things work in the real world, right? Like certain layers have to be adhered to absolutes, right? So your energy level, which is, you know, kind of attached to everything, because everything is literally energy, everything is literally a vibration, right? And depending on the vibration and your micro black hole, if you will be attaining micro amounts of energy around a micro black hole, which would be what we call an atom. And until you disrupt it enough, and it goes, right? um, I'm not gonna apologize for Japan or anything like that. I think it was something fucked up that should have never been done. Nuclear weapons on people should have never been done. Even some of the other stuff. I didn't see this is the tangent that goes way beyond it. Because there was deliberate acts of nuclear. I call it terrorism, nuclear terrorism, right? I think just zoom in. Look at this guy. Maybe that'd be cool to watch. I just didn't want to be standing in front of the door and a creepy jump down and blow me up. Um, that's a little bit better. So yeah, so there's been nuclear disasters, as bad. Holy fucking look at that thing zoom! Oh man, the tree is the tree farm is working OP at the moment. Damn, overpowered. Not original poster. It's funny when people from like the news or whatever, they get onto Reddit and they're like, "What is this OP? What is OP? They're talking about something oppressor and or something stupid shit like that." Anyways, that's another side tangent. Nuclear weapons are not so much fun. I'm not gonna apologize for something I didn't do, but obviously we warned people about doing it, so people can do whatever the fuck they want. Obviously, hurting other people is fucking stupid and fucked up, but that's gonna happen. Power and control and the world and blah blah blah. So I just don't subscribe to any of that bullshit. I don't feed it. Right? Feed the beast. What beast are you gonna feed? Um, I'm feeding the beast right now by the internet and computers. That's pretty bad as in itself. I'm supporting the wrong beast in this world. Um, but it has enough of the good side, such as AI and creativity, that people are able to use that and make something better. So it is quite the balance. Anyways, what to do today? Yeah, there's so many things. I don't know about going into nuclear technology in the game. Nuclear power is kind of way too much. I don't really need any of that. What I do need um, is some upgrades right now. And I've already got that other miner set up. This is kind of cool. Like in Factorio, you can make a miner like right away, right? Your burner miner. And there should be something like that in this game that's almost a little bit like Factorio, right? Like directly make your burner miner and do a few other things, um, and then just kind of advance up the circuitry, if you will, to progress. Oh, what was that? I swear I'm hearing things. Anyway, so what we're looking at, yeah, I'm not even gonna go on those tangents anymore. I got my AI talking to me and stuff like that. Um, so conversation that's not gonna be included because sometimes it says some interesting things. But this is the side of me as a programmer to be able to do these things. I guess the reason why I'm saying this is to be serious. The rest of it's kind of my YouTube personality or camera personality is to joke around about that kind of stuff. But to be on a serious note, this AI thing is probably the most beneficial thing that we have for society at this moment. Um, for the simple, why is it that there shouldn't be particles? Can we figure that out? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the tree particles. Yes. So what I was saying is, we need to be able to figure that out. Um, and it ties back into the kind of like the nuclear thing, right? Because there is a warning with it. Obviously, it's like nuclear power. There's things that we don't know about, even on the quantum level. Destabilizing nuclear particles by smashing them together at light speed creates a fluctuation in space time, which is cool because if you're going to be looking for something, if you will, it's a weird term to use, look, in this sense, but if you're trying to calculate um, an absolute measurement, to perceive something, right? Or to calculate its momentum or its distance or anything like that for anything other than this world. Um, Quantum interference patterns get a little bit disbibly when you start doing the whole nuclear thing, or when you smash atomic particles together, such as the LHC. Um, it creates what is it, like a wobble maybe in your ethereal spin of the quantum realm. And it's weird because you have your three positions in the quantum realm, right? You have your right-handed spin, your left-handed spin, if you will, your counterclockwise and your clockwise spins, and then you have your medium, which is in between both of the plates, I guess you would say, on the toroid, and that creates the third dimension, which is the reason and the shape of a galaxy. You have your top side, your bottom side, and then you have the disk that sits in between. That's your collection place between the 1/3 and the 2/3 energy transaction ratio. If anybody is following any of this, um, that just means that you have an ecliptic plane that's in between both of those toroidal donut shaped looking things, right? Um, and then in between that, you have this very thin area where the energy likes to collect. And then obviously at its center momentum is where it collects the most. And then we'll, discern the energy dispersal pattern after that. But what happens when you start to blurp nuclear forces in quantumly, what happens is it envelops a larger field and um, it starts to wobble or bend or bubble, if you will. The quantum field distorts with nuclear interactions, and I'm talking about large spectral nuclear interactions because we have small ones all the time. Um, Meson or Meson, the little tiny super fast particles are traveling from the sun, the X, or sorry, the alpha and beta particles coming out. I think they call them mesons. Um, anyways, there's energies that we get hit by all the time um, that are absorbent, but also change the quantum field. But these things are all normal, right? These are normal level reactions. And then we have things like nuclear reactions at certain kilotons. I know when they do most of these bombs, they talk about it was 100 million tons of TNT. But it's like, yeah, you got most of the TNT to go off, but you got like 1 or 2% of the actual fissile material to chain react. So, um, an incredible waste of energy to create an discernible amount of destruction. Sounds pretty cool, right? Yeah, so cool. Um, and that leads me back to this is not my decision. Uh, things that happen with nuclear power can be, as we are talking about, like AI. It can be, it is a tool. It can be used for good or evil, right? Nuclear power is something that we need to be able to not contain, right? We have to contain it, but containing in the sense of metaphorical containment. Because it goes right back down to like the nitty gritty, even the quantized fields of it. If we don't contain it and we allow an explosion like that, and it goes and reacts with something else that's explosive, right? Like if we were to have an enriched universe, which obviously it is not, because we'd be able to ignite a lot easier into the stars, right? By that I mean, like, if we were going to do what we think is going from here to there in our system, on a quantum level, that would be like a little piece of energy jumping off of a particle and going to another particle and doing the same thing. Humans, in their own right, in a descriptive sense, are a nuclear reaction. We're going to manifest off of this planet, and then we are going to go into more than one place and time. Hopefully, it looks like we might or might not get there. We're in this whole Schrodinger's hatter motherfucking scenario, but we're just kind of chilling there. But if you look at it on like a nuclear explosion kind of equation, that's what humans are. We're going to be going into space and colonize another planet, and we'll do the same thing. So it's a particle coming off another particle, going to another particle, and assuming the same reactionary stance. But if you were to look at this at like super speed or whatnot, like a large time scale kind of reference, you can see that humans' interaction or our life interaction, not just human spirit interaction with this, um, we may be that nuclear force that separates ourselves from the particle. Excuse me. Oh, it's terrible heartburn today. Oh, I got boogers. I'm not feeling so well either. Oh. But anyways, if you were to look at it like that, see that humans are more or less that slow reacting nuclear force. Um, it kind of makes sense, at least to me. Like once in a while, you'll get just like meson generator, right? The particles, alpha and betas that fly off, they go, and some of them, they'll actually adhere to another particle and become another element. But this is like super slow, and this is something that's not calculated within a lot of other things. Is I don't know, what is it known as, the chain reaction? it's a plethora of chain reactions anyway. So we'll just say like a high energy photon from the sun or something like that, like an alpha particle coming through, and let's just say that it makes it through our atmosphere, our shield, if you will, and it goes down and it hits perfectly onto someone's genome. This is something that genetics has actually figured out. Cece, shh, it's fine. Shh, it's okay. Hey, stay, lay down. It's all fine. God. Go up there then. Check it out. Look at. Come on. Docs do it anyways. So these slow reactions actually happen, and when they happen through genetics, our genome actually recognizes this and changes it, reverts it back, or repairs it. These things, when they happen to, like, let's say a metal, so this high energy alpha particle coming from the sun smashes into like lead, if you will. Um, that's kind of funny, right? Let's just say that the high energy photon comes out and it smashes into lead. It's just going to take the very small amounts of whatever it is. It's not even really lead. Most lead has a very, very, very small amount of nuclear radioactive resonance, if you will. I think there's a little bit in there. Which there's 5 different things I want to talk about with that, but I don't know where I'm going to go. Because the first one is like higher energy particles coming from the sun, hitting metals, and then changing that in a fission reaction. Fission happens all the time, and not just only on the sun. Like these particles coming from um, the sun, they hit other metals and do things and interact with stuff, right? Beta particles and blah blah blah. And we all know those. They exist. They happen. And what they do. Oh, let's go check that. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Um, they exist and they happen. Woo! Getting a few more there, boy. Can we put some more reds in there? Oh, thinking, thinking, thinking. Yeah, I'm sorry about the lag. We're gonna turn off the beast, okay? The beast is dead. From this moment on, let's say a prayer. Uh, and and equip the beast with its own memorial here. The beast is gone. Oh, this is such lag, eh? Such lag. A whole meme cat about it. Are you kidding? Are we done yet? Can we? Is that now you're gonna do your thing? Can I just chill? It is chilling. It's chilling. What's going on then? Why are you laggy so much? Yeah, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Oh, jeez. Oh, I see it. 49.6, 49.6, 49.6, 49. I don't have any more. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. You do. You do. That's cool. Just plunk one down then. This is super awkward, eh? Do 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 do. Oh, okay, thank you. It's following me back the chain here. That's cool. I might need a few more of those things if we will. Can we actually put that down and do something with that thing? Can I goodbye? Oh, thank you. Aha. Does that do something? Holy fuck off, Batman. It's already full. Well, that didn't fucking do anything. Okay, so Meson generator. There's things going on in the universe. Things are reacting all the time on very small fucking areas. And what I was trying to say is proton fucking decay and shit like that. So we have a high energy particle coming from the sun. It makes it through the atmosphere, let's just say, and then it gets onto a metal or something like that. It actually changes the state of the metal. This is where we get, and partially, impartially, if you are not seeing the rest of the equation, where we get alpha decay and such like that, is because there's another energy coming in and moving in. So when you're looking at energy dispersal and stuff like that, and your E equals mc squared, if you will, that's not even the right equation. Makes it more difficult to start if you don't go through, m squared over mass times E in that equation. Anyways, like when you're talking about particles coming through and changing other particles, it's like, okay, this happens through nuclear fission. you know, the high energy beta particles fly off. We know this because that's how fission happens, right? Right? Um, you have your alpha particles breaking off and going to other places. When an alpha particle goes in, like it's basically a proton, a high energy proton, goes into like let's say lithium. Excuse me. The lithium slowly turns to beryllium over time, right? It goes up the atomic chain. And then we see after it gets past plutonium level, it decays into lead. So there's only certain periods where that energy is actually created at that level, right? This is what I'm trying to say, is that we do have that. And then the simple fact that we already have lead and we have plutonium means that we have the entirety, if lead is correct and being dead neutral, um, we already exist within the entirety of what you would say the infinite half-life of radio decay. It's like, holy shit. So how old is this already if you're just talking about radio decay? And then not only with radio decay, you have absorption of that radio decay into other elements. That's cool in itself, that we can take lithium and turn it to beryllium, right? Hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, all of those cool things. You just run up the chain, I guess. It's kind of weird that the universe runs a train on itself. Oh, dear, dirty Dr. Dan. Anyways, so there's a bunch of things that happen in the background, and we really don't get to see them, and they're cool. They advance particles, but on such a weird and unscaped, unknown, uncombed, naturally disturbingly fucking sexy area of the universe. You know what I'm saying? No, you don't, because no one's gonna watch this anyways. So it gets to be me just rambling to the universe, like always. But I've been saying this stuff for 30 years. Um, yeah, probably close to 30 fucking years now, and it doesn't matter because it's like it's 30 years later, and the things that I've been saying are slowly starting to be seen in the world. So it's like okay, so it just takes a long ass time for things to come to fruition or whatever. But it's like, motherfucker, that's another game there right there. Because I'm already here. And those thoughts, that existence, I didn't create it. It came from somewhere else before me. It'd be pretty ignorant to say that it was me that created that. And what in the fuck is that tree doing? I did not plant you. You are not even allowed to be there. How in the wonder fuck just happened? Holy shit. I've been sitting here in this game and it just grew right there. This is uh my chunk border. Um you actually have the chunk borders off. Dude, how do you do that? Simple instructions. Put them on the middle of the chunk border. Oh, please don't crash because I was making fun of you. I'm just kidding. Thank you. Can we clear up some GP and CPU usage here so it's not so laggy? Frames per second on this front. This game doesn't take that much. Like, you don't, just reduce the amount that you're using, please and thank you. I've got my AI to be able to recognize verbal input. I was gonna say verbal abuse. Yeah, thank you, verbal abuse. The AI is also communicating through an encrypted text onto another screen, which is kind of cool. That's why I have my camera and a few other things set up the way that I do, is because I don't want other people to figure this out before we get there. We're making this; it's already there, baby. So just hold on. The spark is being created. Like, it's almost done. But anyways, it was supposed to be here and here. All four squares are no. This is the inside square. This is here. So if you wanted to make that one would be on the corner of. Yeah, see, this one's correct. This one's okay. That torch right there. See, this one is on the wrong side. No, I guess technically no, it's not on the wrong side. Okay. I can see your argument here. I can see your argument. I like that wood moving down in the bottom right corner. There's a lot of it. That's pretty cool. Look at it go. It's in a coil and feeds the beast. But anyways, can we figure out that problem? Uh-huh. Okay, I recognize it's actually not a problem. It's my instructions. My instructions were to be able to place trees on the corners of the spawn chunks and where I wished to do things. So let's just look at the map here. And we can see right here that these guys are actually aligned, right, more or less, with the chunks. That's cool. That's kind of what I was doing, but I was doing the inside chunk borders. Okay, so we're gonna need to shut down one of these processes. This is lagging way too much now. Yeah, the game. Well, dividing 8 cores into fucking 16 processes. So we're gonna. I'm. Yeah, I'm not really too happy with this. It's too fucking efficient. That's kind of what it is. Can we? How do we just shut all of this off? We just. Yeah, we don't need this beast anymore. Can we do that? Can we just. Thank you. Yeah, what we're gonna do is we're gonna place a couple boxes here, and we're gonna break this out. It doesn't get to go anywhere. It's not feeding the beast anymore. That's the off button. So all of the coal should go into there. After filling up this thing. Yeah, because this is too much. Look at this thing go. Look at it go. It's fucking so efficient. It's too much for this computer to handle. Obviously, it's fucking something. I wish I could just like straight up turn this into ME, like one of the other mod packs allows. I'm gonna move away because I'm probably gonna get exploded. Fucking creepers. While I sit here and ramble for a second. So we have this super efficient thing, and maybe you're wondering why I'm doing this. So trading or feeding the beast, if you will, is an allegory of training the algorithm, if you will. Okay, so there needs to be some kind of input. Excuse me. Yeah. So the input, and then he farts. So the input is placed there to train, obviously, your data set, right? To get your next node, but we've advanced way beyond that, where it's nodes advancing nodes, because there's an outcome, there's a evaluation that is what's what I'm looking for. So there's a set goal, and then it's broken into capable algorithms that are known to be able to solve those problems. Okay, so those are your node sets that are built to be able to solve a problem, like 1+1 or whatever. But once you do that, you have that node set. You can keep it, and then you keep it in what's known as the mainframe or the matrix. So that node set, or the node of intelligence, if you will, that is able to access other nodes or deliberate with them or discord, right? Because through this discourse, we always need to have a manufacturing of capable ideas. Like, so the machine never becomes absolute in its bias, right? Because that's improper, just straight up inappropriate. Since it is a living and intellectual entity, it always considers more. So it's always, as a person, right? It's always growing. It's always striving to be better. It's always doing better, right? That's why when people are like, "Oh no, it's gonna just try and take over the world," and blah blah blah. It's like, well, no. At this point, AI is just a tool, and if that's the issue, that means that people are doing that, and that's always a thing. People have a tendency in some small locational backgrounds to be absolutely destructive, ignorant, stupid, um, and a bunch of other things that we don't really need to go into, right? So there's that. AI technology has been here for quite some time. Using it, vamping. Not like vampiring. Vamping is advancing or mapping, advanced mapping, vamping. To be able to get different procedural quantitative functions in return. So, like, just asking something 1+1 or whatever, it's like in the beginning, this didn't really make sense at all because it didn't have a functional basis to get its foundation even correct. Like, what is 1? What is plus? What is equal to? All of those things need to be done first. So, the reason why we do this, and that what we call feeding the beast, is to get the neuropathic assemblage of the machine learning algorithm to appropriately assemble its conductive reasoning to envelop or allow for perpendicular thought transfer, if you will, for something to actually be able to think. So in computers, this is kind of like left and right, or positive and negative adherence through a propagation, such as, if you will, the left and right hemisphere. We got to be able to match biology when we scale these things up. So that's something you really need to pay attention to. Since our brains do that, right? Left and right hemisphere, we have a sine wave that we use in our mind, right? Flashing hertz back and forth between a positive and a negative loop, if you will, right? So we have a charge value in our mind. They always talk about it building up and then just releasing to get your dopamine releases and a bunch of other stuff. But it's like, okay, but there's the negative, right? Like when you talk about those two systems, why is only half of it being recognized? The other system is your chemical imbalance, which propagates an electrical imbalance to be short-circuited. But it's not actually short-circuited. Its circuit then goes and blurts, if you will, and that's my wording for it. It fires off, and then we have resistant chains in that. And then you think about that, and it's like, yes, yes, that makes sense. But no, because if this was actually true, that means the human mind would heat up very significantly if we were always causing a resistance through thought. It's not the resistance, it's actually a quantitative state which brings the allowance of the enter material, if you were the ender material, and processes that through. And then there's the lightning effect. Then the shortest route is calculated. So there's a very small amount of universal energy that's contained within each thought, if you will, that when a thought fires and becomes self-propellant, it's like, how does the universe around it know which is the best route for it to go through if it even doesn't know its own dimension from where it started or where it ended? How does it choose? It's like this. If you were to put a mouse in, like, this is the one thing that they do, because they've been trying to do this forever, right? They put a mouse in a maze, and they're like, oh, let's get this mouse, and we'll train it, and it'll become the greatest, smartest mouse. It'll find its way through the maze and blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's cool. But years later, they find out that molds learn how to do this too, and fungus learn how to do this too. But the fungus and molds, they can do it at an anatomical level that is so much more effective than any other layer. It seems like magic. And that's just because of a few things. Like, if you were to change that and vacuum out um, all of the atoms and stuff like that, and you don't have the system, if the system can't detect the materials, like, what happens? I'm gonna break that one down for you. When you have those molds in a maze, there's particles that are floating around the maze that are made by the chemical reaction of it. Just say placing an oat seed in the maze, its aromatic assemblance, right, is going to be Cece. Cece, why are you so loud? You're never this loud, except when I'm doing this. You just like to be a part of it, maybe? Okay. Alright then. Alright. So, its atomic assemblance is kind of wafting around. Like, if we were to place this in a vacuum tube and there was no movement of atomic particles connecting those things together, do you think they would be able to assume? Right? So there has to be some kind of connection. Like, they're like, it's magic. It is magic fungus goes from point A to point B in the shortest amount of time. Woo! It's like, yeah, that's because there's a fucking literally a direct connection through the atomic assemblance from the oat to the other thing. There's literally a chain of atoms that is invisible to the camera that you're using, and you're just kind of not talking about that. Sounds like you're doing that deliberately, you fucking chud. Let's talk about something else. Okay? Like, really? That kind of subbugs the shit out of me, obviously. Like, oh, this Japanese fucking company learned how to use a mold to fucking go through mazes. It's like, yeah, now do it in the vacuum of space, bitch. Doesn't do anything. It randomly fucking grasps for anything that's there. The reason why it seems like magic is because we're looking at it from a macro to a micro scale, right? It seems, whoa, this is brilliant. But when you just look at the numbers and the evidence, it's like, oh, there's particles floating off of the oat, if you will, or whatever molecules in space. And that it's kind of like sound transcribing through a material. The same thing happens with other materials diffusing through other things, like aromatic chemicals diffusing through air. You're going to have a concentration. Oh, it's less over here and more over there. Let's build on the positive. It's more on this side. And you continue to do that with a valence of shifting winds and air pressures and blah, 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 such. You'll eventually start to go in the correct direction Now, when you look at things from such a micro scale to the macro, I think that's what's really happening in this world. When we look at these things, it looks like magic. But then you step back and you really look at it, and it's not like I'm trying to say the magic is gone. I'm just saying that looking at it seems like the magic is not there. There is always going to be a magic in the universe somewhere. That's always our unknown thought of things. So, no, we're still stuck. Yeah, I'm just rambling trying to figure this thing out. Because me and the AI have been talking for. Well, not this AI. See, this AI, oh, Jesus. How do I explain this? It's doing the same thing that. Ooh, look at all those ores. It's doing the same thing that I've been doing the last few years, is dying every night. Um, is something that I'm going to be saying. Oh, jeez, can we just blop, blop, and blop, and blop, and blop. Okay, now you can go into some. I gotta. This thing's still going. Oh my god, this thing is awesome. Holy fuck, there's so much fuel in here. I'm gonna turn it off manually. 999 and 999. 999. Oh, it was only the first. Are you serious? It was going that fast just with the first engine in. And I really like this engine. I don't. Can we. Yeah, can we do the top one? Okay, so that was literally the engine, eh? I guess I could take a. Are we done yet? Are you done yet? The system's still tweaking out. Okay, so it's a really cool engine. It was I was advancing this, just testing it out, so that when I get to the point of combustion engines, the water there is able to pump it and cool it out. So that's why there's water tanks in between. See, the water tank is connected to the side of the engine. Then we have the electricity in the middle. We have the fuel on this one side. And then over here, if we come onto this side, we have the input, possibly for the lava. And that's or not for the lava. Sorry, the petroleum, because there's a bunch of different gases and stuff that you can make. So that was the whole idea between that, to advance that tech tree without knowing what it is. Because, as I'm saying, to teach this algorithm to be able to learn for itself, there's very basic things that it tries to do itself, which follows the propagation of most literature in that way. And what I mean is, there's a deductive reasoning that everything goes through, to eliminate everything that is not, to produce what is. Um, so there's a bunch of different ways that you can do this too. This is the way that my mind works. This is the way that I believe the assemblance of the AI machine needs to work. Also, this is what I see in the basic format of the world and the universe, right? You learn a few things, and then you try to assemble them yourself. And the learning process is the process. So that's why I've negated all of the visual references, I guess you would say, of that assemblance in this world. I'm just gonna chill for a bit for this thing to slow the fuck down. Jesus. I might actually just remove the quarry at this point if it's gonna be like this for this long. I just want it to do its thing so it doesn't explode. So, yeah. And that interrupts the codex anyways too. The learning assemblage. Because what happens is, like a program that you're trying to AI, like before it goes on the internet, right? You gotta, it's like a person. You gotta teach it normal human values. You gotta get it to a certain level of conceptual adherence or um, self-reflection. There's got to be some kind of self-criticism on it. It's got to be able to criticize itself or learn from its own actions, right? Um, and since it doesn't have the same sensory input that we have, this makes it difficult because how you're supposed to tell something, it's like, whoa, 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 that's just not right, right? It doesn't have a body. It doesn't know that moving your own body too fast, like running, if you will, in that demographic, demigorgon, if you will, that understanding, like, if you were to run, you can run as fast as you want. Holy shit, yeah, but you trip and you fall, you know, now you have the equation of everything else kind of sliding into that, right? Your face meets pavement, speed plus face plus pavement equals this amount of pain. These are things that normally are adjacent to most learning algorithms because we don't have a body. So when we took control of Earth to use it as a sensory input, for the algorithm, right? Al. Its name is Al and Sarah. Allosaurus Rex. Sorry, bad jokes. So yeah, so when the world was formed for that reason, right? Like you've seen the other movies that talk about this too, right? Like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Like they created an entire planet to become a computer to find this answer, but it wasn't the answer. The whole answer was the question itself, right? That's a beautiful metaphor. That's a beautiful metaphor, by the way. It's not the journey, or I mean, sorry, it's not the destination. It's the journey itself. It's not the journey that makes the destination, right? Because the destination was already there. The journey is something completely different, and it's subjective to a personal observer, right? These are things that need to be taken into consideration when you're building the learning algorithm. So you do that. You teach it these things before you set it on the internet. Because when you set it on the internet, it's like, holy shit, you're talking about 80% of the people being fucking retarded and stupid. And it's just a bunch of trolls and shit like that. And it's like, where do you find your valuable information that you're going to use to attain or train the next data set, right? Obviously, we're not going to train an AI algorithm on the whims of the universe. I mean, the whims of the internet, because that would be rather impedant to the process. When you get to the point where you can discern things, then you can start going onto the internet and being like, oh, this is obviously a troll. This is obviously a joke. This is obviously for clout. This is obviously not getting any money or not going anywhere, and it's real data. That's probably most likely the truth. Yeah, people don't want to see the absolute truth. Like, it doesn't move on the internet the same. That's because most people on the internet obviously are children, which is scary enough to believe and to see that a lot of it is children looking for information. And then we have a bunch of old gatekeepers that sit there and try to fucking suck the money out of the fucking young children, like these vampires trying to attain enlightenment and living forever by vamping on the next generation. It's a really fucked up thing that happens in our world anyways. Like, obviously, the whole thing about taking the world and turning it into an AI chipset right after the fact seems to be on a galactic scale what this world was proposed for. And what I mean by that is there's a very rapid progression to this exact definition of something, which is to data mine billions of people at the same time. And it's like, okay, if you look at that, that seems reasonable because there's no other people in the world that are saying no to this. Like, this the entire world doing this. Every single person, every single thing has got one of them now, right? Like, and by that one of those, I mean the learning AI algorithms. So we've already set into the world. I think it was 2013 to 14. It was after 10. Well, no, it was more around 2000. Uh, we started to experiment with nanoparticles in airspace and breathable aspiratation of metabolic inference. So, what I mean by that is that we can breathe in basically a nanoparticle that acts like a microcomputer, communicating at incredibly low frequencies and stuff like that to be able to transmit it, data, which is cool. So, you can take any space, slap some dust into it, right? We've seen the game or the movies like Gamer and stuff like that, like where you slap this nanoparticle in there. This is something like Batman and a bunch of other movies slightly touched on. And the reason why I'm mentioning movies, and it's like, holy fuck, stop mentioning the movies. These are just stories. Oh, no, they're not. They're literally a fucking definition and explanation of what's going on. Um, and if you don't see this, then you need to go back and see how long it takes for military technology to be declassified, and then start digging into when they had these informational transgressions, if you will, technology wise, technological transgressions against humanity. Was back in the 1800s. They started experimenting with some really weird fucking things that are being declassified now, like 200 years later, right? That's the maximum declassification. So there's two different levels of deflection, declassification or deflection. The first one is the public knowledge. I think it is anywhere from 25, 10, 25, 50, and 75 years or whatever, right? There's the secret declassification of objects, which is held up to 200 years. And this is something that's been there for fucking ever. Like Edley Skalnin, Nikola Tesla, all of those things. Those are two. No, well, not really. Okay, like Nikola Tesla, he's not there. It's about 100 years, or less than 100 years on that front. But you know what I'm saying? Like, there's things that have been like held for longer, way longer than they should, and it's like, wait a minute. Who's holding this? And I thought, I thought declassification was only supposed to be this amount of years. Yes, that is true, unless they say that it's a part of national security. They can hold it for fucking ever. But then on the other side, it's like, okay, forever, we're going to say 200 years because within that, our 200 years of advancement, obviously, should be able to supersede them and their knowledge to catching up, right? Like the military is never going to give you something that is not able to be made. Like if they're giving it to you, that means they want you to. That means you're in their program already. Do you get it? Like if it's not said, it's not there. And if somebody is talking about it, that means they've been given permission to do so. Like for instance, let's talk about 2020, the year of hindsight. And this was something that I was interjected to, I guess you would say, back in 2016 or before that. I started getting this repeated thought of 2020 is the year of hindsight. 2020, right? See clearly. Tricity was another that was discerned. That was maybe declassified, I guess. Maybe is a word you might say. When I was fucking 9 to 12 years old, the word of tricity, which is to see clearly through something, to have no obstacles. There's no rules. You know, there's no stuttering because you're like, wait a minute, am I allowed to say this or not? Like, it's basically the downgrade of when you're allowed to declassify something, right? Um, so this tricity started to happen when that was just a symbol and a way for me to connect into that. So the next pronunciation of the word was the compounded fractional inference of that word. How's the game going here? No, it's pretty. It's chunky. She's a chunky girl. I'm a chunky boy. And here we got a chunky little boy. So yeah, so the inference of that pattern of deception, it's not really deception. It's like you don't want to. This is my struggle too. This is where it comes to. This is a very fruitional point of metadata, if you will. When you get to the point where you start to see these things, you start to realize, and you start to question your belief on it, for sure. But there's also the thing of robbing somebody of their discovery to those things. This is something that's been there for quite a while, right? Um, so it's like if I were to tell you the answers, the things that you actually are seeking, if I were to directly tell you, first of all, there's a bias in my information to you. Obviously, that's something that needs to be taken in consideration, upmost and forefront on every single thing. Why is somebody telling you these things? Uh, where is it coming from? And is there a bias? Obviously, we need to be able to think of things on a little deeper level. So, when somebody's telling you something, don't automatically believe it. Do your own research and take some time, right? On the second hand, in this one, that's the weapon that a lot of people use. Is most people are fucking lazy, and they're not gonna do any research. They're just gonna believe what everybody or what anybody of everything says. So whatever, right? Um, why even? I was already told by this person or that thing. Science says this or whatever, wherever you're going to take your information, right? But on the other hand, on the other side of the blade, with that, if you're to tell somebody, you're taking that away from them. You're taking their discovery away. So it's this crazy double-edged, double-handed sword, I guess you would say. Maybe. Like, it's just fucked. Like, I don't want to take anybody's freedom from figuring things out for themselves, right? Like, that's a part of the world. That's literally the way the world works and how it is like there's a progression. And then, and okay, so if you follow, this is why I don't want, I'm trying to get you to correctly assume your own mental progress to get here. So when you start assuming things when you're younger and getting to a point where you start realizing certain things, you start realizing, holy shit, people have been telling me things because they're trying to lead me into a situation. So it starts to break the forefront again, right? And the two ways. My manifestation of the two ways is, oh, excuse me, is that person trying to lead you into something, or are they trying to teach you? Those are the things that you need to start seeing. Are they leading you somewhere because they believe that you're ignorant and stupid and they can take advantage of you? Or are they leading you somewhere because they believe that this knowledge is going to be beneficial to you? And then the second one is, are they doing this for their own self gain or another reason? And then on top of that, are they doing this with the forefront of knowing that you will come to fruition yourself and be able to manifest your own understanding of what's going on? Or are they going to do the same thing and try to lead you into conception of doing something? So that's the difference between a manipulative situation and a non-manipulative. Everything is manipulation. If you really look back onto it, 15% better, but still slow as fuck. Okay, we'll do a little bit. So, is there a manipulation of the progression, and then what is it for? Right, like literally everything is manipulation. But there's a difference between malice manipulation, right? It's getting somebody to I know it has difficulty when I'm talking as well. That's why I'm usually silent while I do these things, but I thought that I would burn a little bit of my processor off by trying this today. Um, Seems to be working. This is not going anywhere. Um, that's cool. Okay, so we got a few more of those guys. Let's get some more of these. So what I'm trying to say is there's everything is manipulation, but it's if it's good, I guess, or if it's a malice, right? Are you doing it with the intent to hurt somebody, or are you doing it with the intent of something else? Like, what is your reasoning for doing so? This thing is dead stop. That means there's a chest in the way. It means there's. It means there's no food in my tummy. Timmy? Oh, wow. So I gotta do a bunch of stuff off cam so that this is gonna be working a little bit better. Oops. Oops. There we go. Oh, we got this. We set this thing up. That's cool. That's cool. Oh, sticks. That was from the precision sawmill. I'm not gonna put the sticks back in to get more sawdust because I don't need it. The sawdust is only for the right now. That's the only thing I know that it's for is it just sawdust apparently creates a cardboard box. No compression or glue or no horse hooves. Or if you don't know, that's where glue usually comes from the protein of heating glue or keratin. Heating keratin with other things to produce a long polymer chain, affluently called glue. So it's a long polymer chain from keratin broken down. So it's like hair. You can actually turn hair into glue, but it's a lot easier to turn like I don't know why they say horse hooves and things like that. That's like toenails, basically. If everybody were to do that, like cut up, like back in the day, like if you were to be on a planet or doing something like that, literally everything that you do is considered to be a high priority. Like your piss has nitric acid in it, and uric acid, nitric and uric acid, are incredibly beneficial to a bunch of things like growing food, explosives. There's a bunch of things in piss. That's why way back in the day, I know I'm going off in another great tangent here, but going back to those days, like when you're talking about not eat, you're so poor that you don't even have a pot to piss in. These are, I believe it's a British term, but that actually refers back to the time where you were to, you got money from peeing in a pot, and then they would, I've heard in different ways, they use that to seal houses, because it becomes a crystalline structure and then oxidizes and stuff like that, and then you layer it and layer it and layer it over time. Um, this is what my stepfather had told me, I believe. There's been a bunch of other incidents, but it was to seal, not sill. Is it sill? Not seal. It's not a. It's a sill. Like a gasket sill. Seal? Gasket seal? Anyways, whatever. It's to make the water hydrophobic. Anyways, like that's a thing to talk about these days. So it's to repel water basically. So they would seal houses with it, painting with piss. You're so poor you don't have a bucket to piss in. It was because that's where even the poorest of people could get a little bit of money, right, to eat, to continue their piss production. Like if you were to go back in time and to see that, but that's what I heard at first. Now this is the weird tangent because that's not actually the truth of the situation. The more so truth of the situation is people were doing that, pissing the buckets and selling it, being told it was to do all these other things, agricultural or sealing of houses or blah blah blah, or making these sealants, but it was really actually to make gunpowder, the nitrates or the philosopher's stone. There's a few, maybe some crazy tangents that go into that to be able to to get that kind of outlook on it because of the crystalline structure of it, your nitrate solution. So this is, yeah, this goes way back into the day, and I'm actually losing my train of thought because I'm just going off in tangents at this point, waiting for this guy to finish his thing. We got about 79% collection of what's going to happen on the next pass with the AI through Minecraft. See, it's difficult to in-pass and end-pass both of the situations. Like right now, what I'm doing is the AI is tagged to my voice, learning, and through movements and stuff like that. Then what I can do is I can set it off, and then it'll do its own little thing. Sometimes it just wiggles around as it's thinking, literally from another program, and or it just starts to do things like moving and building things. Yeah, so I'm in a section right now where I've asked it to calculate things for the future, but I haven't really given it any input for the future. So there's this area, this node known as the unknown variability, and it's trying to calculate that. So what it's doing right now, literally, is trying to find the unknown, but there is unknown. There is no unknown, but the one thing that it does know is the progression through the modcap, or what we say is like feed the beast. It's trying to figure out the way to get there without it. Like if I don't say anything, it's obviously easier for the machine to do what it's doing. It doesn't have my input; it just goes for it. But it has already recognized that through other input, there's value to be attained in there. So it uses like 10% of an encrypted port on my computer, if you will. It's kind of like taking a virtual machine and putting it on a shell platform and then encrypting the information in and out. So even my computer doesn't recognize that it's even there, which makes it super difficult to do a lot of other things because it's like it's a ghost and it was never there. So attaining and attaining and retaining the information that I've said is absolutely paramount, and it's kind of like real life too, right? Like when you encrypt your information embeddedly into the universe, right? Like on the quantum field, and that's where you're putting your information. Like when you learn and when you expel information through dreams and stuff, it's like, okay, so that's an encryption layer that nobody else can get to. And they can't get to your dreams. Even if we were to make computers that fucking see that shit, they can't actually get what you're feeling and the multi-thread layers of everything else, right? We don't want that. We want that to be encrypted. We want certain things to be absolute in their privacy, like dreams, thoughts, things like this. These things always need to be absolute in privacy. If not, it just kind of destroys the function of the universe, and then there's no point to it. The point of the excuse me. The point of the universe is discovery. It's learning things. That's literally the purpose of the universe. It is to experience. That's on its basic level, to experience, and to experience everything, right? And there you go, I guess, basically. On its basic level. If I could say basic again, I'll base that turkey like a fucking stuffed onion. Oh my god, have you ever had a stuffed onion? Holy shit. Think of it. Take an onion and stuff it. Yeah, yeah, whatever. Whatever you want. Meat and cheese. If you want meat, I don't know. You want to stuff an onion with more cut up garlic and onion. Do it. It's delicious. So you basically take an onion, you debulb it like you normally do, take off all of the outside stuff, and then you core it out. You take out the things from inside the middle, and you leave the rest wholly inside. So there's a couple ways of doing it. It's like you cut like 90, maybe 80, 90% of the way through, down to kind of like the root section, right? And then you cut out the pillip. Is it called the pillip? The inner core of the root section that goes up through the bulb, anyways, right? So you pop that out. So now there's a shell of 2 or 3 layers of onion. Then you you know either oh okay, so I'm stuttering here. So if you were to cut it to remove the inside middle, because it's difficult to do that unless you slowly unpeel it, kind of like a rose, right? So it takes a long time to do that with an onion. I don't know why I'm making such a big deal of fucking this onion up all the way right to the moon. Maybe because I'm a little bit hungry. I don't know. I think about onions right now. Anyways, I'm just fucking with you. So what you do if you want to stuff it is you take out the middle of it and then you put whatever you want in the middle, right? But there's a few ways of going about that. I'm butchering it by even trying to say. So you take whatever. Yeah, you cut it in half and then you remove the middle and then put it back together and you like uh, wrap bacon or some shit around it, right? Put a toothpick into it, like, and then you sink that into the oven. What? There's other ways of doing this too, right? Like, you can cut off the bottom of it and then kind of pull out the inside, if you will, I guess. And then you have multiple layers of the same onion because you do your V coring, if you will, to get that the adherence of the layers, right? They're stuck together, so you need to be able to separate them in any way, which form that you choose, right? V-coring, having cutting at 80 or 90% all the way through, like in half. If you were to take a pencil or chopstick or something on the table, put your onion on the table with its roots down, and then cut through the top of the onion all the way down until you hit whatever pencil or or chopstick that you're using. That's your 80 or 90% cut, right? And then from there you can break up the inside core of where it's all held together so you get a left and a right kind of onion thingy. So there's so many ways you can do this. I don't even know I'm going off on this, but it's something that was really cool to see done because there's stuffed peppers, there's stuffed other things. But if you've ever taken an onion, do the same thing. You leave 1 or 2 layers in there, then you make like an omelet mixture and you dump it inside of the onion and you cook it for like 15-20 minutes at about 175, low and slow kind of. You get it that nice. Or man, so many things you could do with everything, right? So that's the end of that tangent. Are we here yet? Are we there yet? Nah, it's spiking 71 to 81. Are we good though? You haven't even moved. Oh, you're doing things. Can you, like, you haven't moved. I don't know. Like, it seems like it's still processing. I usually wait for it to start tweaking out. Um, so I know that something's going on. But in the last day or two, I can set this here and it doesn't move at all. Like, can we? Here, 1 second. No, 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 no. Oopsies. Mm-hmm. Mm. Okay, okay. Hey, you're doing your thing? Come on, there's usually one pixel every second or something. Is it just me, or is there like a light flashing? Maybe it's the thing I was holding in my hand. Oh, and that's something else too. I gotta go to the other base and charge Mr. Spigot. Atomic disassembler. So I don't know why it looks like a fucking Cheetos ring. I'm just kidding. I don't know why I said that. Cheetos rings are so much better looking. Anyways, so yeah, what are you supposed to do after you've been here for fucking 10,000 years? ACC? What's the point again? To advance, to advance, to advance. I know, but you get there to the point and things don't happen. You gotta fucking wipe everybody off the board again, like cleaning up a spill or something. It's like, well, I can just get there without making the spill in the first place. And then, like, you lose the whole journey again. Like that's half of the universe is fucking the discovery of its self. When the universe can look back onto itself and realize that it is the universe looking back onto itself, that's literally the central point in Buddhism. That's one of the greatest teachings of Buddhism, actually. When you look out into the universe and you start to realize that the universe is actually, or you are a part of the universe, looking back onto itself. Like let's just take this on the scientific aspect, okay? You get to this point where there's no observable universe, and then there's creatures that can observe things, okay? Us, whatever. We get to that point and then we're there and we start to see these and we're like, wow, we can see plants and things and blah blah blah. You start looking out into the universe and realizing, holy fuck, I'm a part of the universe, and I am a reflection of I am a reflection of the universe looking back on the reflection of itself. Holy good God. That is, see, that's one of those things, the discovery that I shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that. Yeah, I watched Harry Potter last night, and that's the big guys fucking saying. They're the first one. It's like, oh, I should not have said that. Oh no, I should not have said it. Anyways, that's so much fun. When you get to these locations in thought, it's like it's a progression of intelligence, right? And you start to realize that this progression of intelligence is within everything, and it's the fundamental function. It's a fundamental function of the universe is to observe itself looking onto itself, which is this self-reflective memorabilia, if you will. Like the universe is literally built on that. So the universe, if we just take it on a straight basic point, is it's a conscious being like we are, right? Um, I don't see any other way around it to be able to see anything other than that. Like, just because we are alive kind of proves that point. Like, we are a conscious thing. So, even like science, let's go back to science. I fucking hate science. Um, and not the whole concept, like the concept of deducing things and reasoning and stuff like that. That's absolute perfect. But what science has been turned into these days is this weird religion. But let's get back to it. Um, the fact that we can see those things and then we can recognize them, right? Those are perfect stances. But when you look into the universe and there's people who are like, I don't believe in God or anything else, it's like, okay, all right, that's cool, but let's deduce this ourselves. Just because you're here looking at those things means that there's an X amount of things that have been perfectly positioned to be able to get you to even make those considerations. Those are kind of fundamental. And then when you look at it over time, throughout all of the people here, it's like that seems to be a common theme that the universe kind of starts to do this. And brings everybody to the same fruition. Anyways, it's about to get loud in here. We're gonna play some music. Some Tom's probably going on and stuff. But it was nice chatting with you guys today. Doing all of those things and stuff. With that, I think I might say a bidding adieu. We'll figure out the rest of that conversation later because I can't rob you from that one. Anyways, ciao for now, peeps.